There's really only two NBA stars who left their team at the end of their rookie contracts. Shaquille O'Neal leaving the Orlando Magic for the Lakers, and Tracy McGrady leaving the Toronto Raptors for the Orlando Magic. But we know so much was different in the 90s, right? And in the NBA, the rules have changed, the new CBA, but that hasn't changed the fact that it usually doesn't happen, right? And that's what you saw yesterday. One by one, most of Jonathan Kuminga's draft class signed their rookie extensions. But Jonathan Kuminga's betting on himself. We've heard it so many times in sports. You don't hear it much in football, right? And you know why, but the NBA is a little bit different. Let's break down the potential of what this means. Some of the numbers. You guys know I'm not a capologist, but I did a little bit of research. I did a little bit of homework. I'm actually good at math. I just don't care to bother myself with the contract stuff. I want to talk hoops, basketball. And now it's opening night, right? And I think we're all excited. But this Kuminga news, or lack thereof, I think deserves some attention. So let's start at the top of this 2021, the 2021 draft class. Cade Cunningham, 5 years, $224 million. It's about $45 million per, right? There are three others in that top of the lottery that have signed that exact rookie extension. And this happened not at the deadline. This was a done deal months ago, right? Evan Mobley in Cleveland, same deal. Scotty Barnes in Toronto, same deal. And Franz Wagner in Orlando got that same 5 for 224. And that was the one where it was like, oh, he was taken, yeah, that's right. He was taken right after Kuminga with the 8th pick. A lot of people still feel like that was the pick for Kerr and the Warriors. But that's a story for another time. And so they set the market at the top, right? That's the max that you can get. And kind of sounded like Kuminga was like, well, me too then, right? You notice how overwhelming the men's cosmetics section can be these days? You just got row after row of product that's overpriced and you don't know where to begin. Mando sent me their highly rated starter pack, starting with this 4-in-1 acidified soap bar. I'm not sure the science behind it. What I know is it was created by a doctor and it works. It works on your hair, your face, and your body. So especially if you're traveling, you can knock out carrying all these products and use the acidified soap bar. But honestly, my favorite product is the all-over deodorant, because the truth is you can leave the crib fresh and clean, but you don't always stay that way, especially in the nether regions, right? So pits, package, feet, it's going to work and you can use it on the go. The deodorant stick is aluminum free, so you don't get the stains in your shirt. The Mando starter pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice, and free shipping. Lucky enough for y'all, I have a discount code to hook you up with your favorite smelling whole body deodorant. New customers are going to get $5 off the starter pack. That's over 40% off that starter pack when you use code Alchemy and head to shopmando.com. That's shopmando.com. That's $5 off your first starter pack. In some of these deals went down at the 11th hour. You saw maybe my reel yesterday. Trey Murphy was an early one, 4 for 112 in New Orleans. Now, when I use the term archetype, and that's probably not the right thing. I know Trey Murphy is a stretch shooter, right? But what I meant was tier of player. And how I was judging that was, if you polled all the GMs in the NBA, who would you rather have, Trey Murphy or Kuminga? I think you would get a split. Warrior fans, I know how y'all feel, right? You're going to have your bias, and it's a subjective question, but that's how I would view the value. But, okay, let's say Kuminga, his market is a little higher than that. I think the Houston Rockets young players kind of set where you would look at for Kuminga, right? Şengün goes 5 for 185, and Jalen Green, the first ever 2+1 deal, is 3 years, $106 million. So it's like 35 per, right? I know this is a lot of numbers here, but the rumor is the Warriors were offering Kuminga around 30 mil per, and they wouldn't budge off that. So it's somewhere around that. And then Jalen Johnson for the Hawks, who wasn't even a lottery pick, or was he at the end of the lottery? He was picked well after Kuminga, signs a 5 for 150. And you say, boom, okay, that looks about right, right? Kuminga is betting on himself. He did not want, it's kind of amazing. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but you look at where Kuminga came from to turn down probably about $150 million. That's definitely betting on yourself, right? Josh Giddey, who went one pick before Kuminga but was already traded to Chicago, did not extend. And then Davion Mitchell, who had been traded from Sacramento to Toronto. So those two guys kind of in different situations because they've already been traded. But Kuminga is kind of the one big name of this draft class who, again, is, quote, betting on himself. So that means he enters restricted free agency. He's going to play out this rookie deal that I think it's about 7.58 mil per, right? And he's going to enter restricted free agency this summer, meaning the Warriors can match, right? They have the bird rights. They can match whatever offer is given Kuminga, and they're going to let the market set what the offer is. So now you look at the projected cap space headed into next summer. You say projected because there will be trades this season, right? And that can alter some of the cap space. But as of right now, you've got the Brooklyn Nets with a ton of it, right? They could sign 2 max players essentially. Well, maybe not max, but 2 star players at 80. Houston still somehow is going to have 48 mil. That's what the numbers say. Maybe that's not adjusted from yesterday. So Houston might not be involved in that. I know Van Fleet's deal is going to come off, so they're going to have some cap room, right? Charlotte Hornets, 47. They're going to have Washington and New Orleans are going to have a little less than that at 46 and 36. I think the issue is when you look at these teams here, they're kind of known for making suspect moves, right? And who's to say that's a suspect move? But, if Kuminga averages 20 and the Warriors have a nice playoff run, who's to say the Brooklyn Nets don't throw him a max contract that we then have to match, right? And you say, okay, what does a max contract look like? Kuminga not extending with the Warriors, he's going to lose out. He's not eligible for that 5-224, right? A max would be 166 mil, which is about 42 per. So it's significant, right? If the Warriors are offering around 30, maybe it's 28, right? He's holding out for 40, 42 mil. Bottom line, after, rambling through all these numbers and looking at the market, right? Bottom line is Warriors are offering around 30. Kuminga is looking at, okay, I want 40 plus per, right? How does this affect Kuminga's performance this season? We just saw Moses Moody get locked in here. And yes, it's true. He could very well be traded, right? Like that's a fact. I heard someone say, well, now he's guaranteed to be in the rotation, right? Maybe. I don't know. He's on a value contract as well, so we'll see how that goes. But I think the consensus is kind of like, all right, well, now Moses can exhale a little bit and just focus on being the best basketball player he can be for this team, right? Does Kuminga start to press? Steve Kerr, I believe, has already announced he's in the initial starting lineup. Is he going to press? I don't think it's going to be an issue because I think Jonathan Kuminga naturally presses. He naturally has a chip on his shoulder, and he has kind of an irritable temperament on the basketball court, right? He's a little bit chippy, and that's fine. I like that. I think that can work for him, but there is a fine line between being irritable and chippy and getting frustrated, right? And so you have to toe that line and balance that, but I think it can work for him. I'm not really concerned with him pressing on the court because, again, I think he's already wired like that. What I'm more curious about is, let's say he starts to get some knee tendonitis. He's a bouncy athlete, right? The knee's sore. Does he pack it up? Is he like, no, I don't want to play, at a compromised when I'm in this contract year? Where Moses, this is something that we didn't discuss. Let's say Moses is chipped up. Well, he's already got his, right? He's already, so he can go and put his body on the line. And I'm not saying, you don't want Kuminga out there hurting himself, but this type of stuff happens in contract years. It's not just about the stats. It's about your health and your body and what you're putting out on the court. And some players, if they don't feel 100% in a contract year, it's like, hey, I don't even want to go out there. I don't want to play at all. Or let's just say the minutes get cut back to 17, 18 minutes. Then it's like, dang, man, now they're tanking. Does he start to feel like they're tanking my value in the summer by cutting my minutes? I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I'm saying these are things that can arise and would concern me. A lot has been made about the new CBA and how it was kind of built to hurt the Warriors. And I do think that that is the case, but I also think part of it is to protect these teams from themselves. And eventually, it hasn't happened yet, but we can hopefully get to a place where really only max players get max contracts. They're not hard to spot. Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, Luka Doncic, and Edwards. There's not that many, I think, that truly deserve that supermax, like roll out the Brinks truck. And I think that teams are going to start to figure it out. And I think that that's part of the new CBA. It's super complicated, but I'll throw this graphic up here for a second. And if you get to that second apron, there are so many penalties. I mean, teams just aren't going to do it. You'd be crazy to do it unless you're like the Celtics or you're a team that's been in the finals over and over again and you're trying to keep it together. But you cannot use your tax mid-level, aggregating 2 or more player salaries in a trade. You can't send out cash. You can only sign your own. I mean, it basically completely handicaps you from making your team better once you get there. So you better your team better be set, right? Again, a team like the Celtics or something like that. And so we'll see how, these $200+ million max contracts work out. There's going to be some hits and some misses, but I think long term in this CBA, you're going to see less of them. And teams are going to get more conservative. As far as Kuminga, I want him around for the long term, and it's at the right price. It always feels weird talking about dudes' pockets and money, but again, with this CBA, it's even more important. And what I do like is Kuminga has said all the right things throughout this, whether he believes it or not, right? But it's a business, and I understand it. You know what I mean? That type of stuff. And so the Warriors and Kuminga are going to let the business dictate the contract. But I don't think it means that they're going to part ways or anything. We're not going to have like a Gordon Hayward situation. But those are my concerns in my thoughts on the contract. What do I think is fair? Who knows? I mean, if Kuminga balls out, then maybe it's just like back up the Brinks truck, right? But as of right now, you would think the Jalen Johnson deal, 5 for $150 or there around that area, I would think we're in between that. I think the Wagner deal is what messed us up. That's what I really think. I think Scottie, Mobley, and Cade were one thing, but once Wagner got that deal, I think that's what took us to this place now. Anyway, we got opening night, we got tip-off, and we got the Warriors Wednesday in Portland. You know where to find the coverage. It's right here. Hit that like, share, and subscribe. I'm out, y'all.